The Buffalo Bills blew a game in Cleveland last week that many thought they should have won. And with Miami on tap this week, the 2-7 Dolphins, they certainly could not afford to blow another one. Fortunately for Buffalo, that did not happen. Here's my weekly 5 reasons why. This week, 5 reasons why the Bills swept their division rival, Miami Dolphins. All right, what's going on, everyone? Patrick Moran here, host of the Moran-Alytics Podcast with another installment of 5 Reasons Why. This is my Bills post-game series where I'm highlighting 5 reasons why the Bills won or why they lost their latest game. This will go up on the Moran-Alytics Podcast YouTube channel, only there on Sunday evenings. Not going to hear it on the podcast or anywhere else. Today, the top 5 reasons why the Bills went down to Miami on Sunday, handled their business, did what they were supposed to do, and now find themselves 7-3. Here's 5 reasons why. Coming in at number 5, the Bills' run defense finally played like it did earlier in the season. This is a run defense that has been gashed over the last few weeks, especially in the first half. It started against Philly when Jordan Howard got to him, Miles Sanders as well. Following week, Adrian Peterson lit them up in the first half, and then last week it was Nick Chubb carving them up. The Bills are going to have none of it this week. There's going to be no 4-Pete in Miami. Leslie Frazier, Sean McDermott, I'm not sure who to give credit to here, but they came up with the game plan and some defensive play calls. It made it really obvious right from the first snap. They were not going to get beat in the running game. Lots of run blitzes, lots of different variations, bringing safeties into the box. It worked really well. Miami could get nothing going on the ground. They only gained 23 yards rushing on the day on 13 attempts. Far cry from even a couple weeks ago when they played, and Miami had over 100 yards rushing on the ground. Everyone on the defense was more stout this week in stopping the run, especially the Bills' defensive tackles, which leads to my number 4 reason. The Bills' defensive tackles absolutely dominated Miami on Sunday, especially with the pass rush. Not 1, not 2, not 3. All 4 Bills' defensive tackles dropped Ryan Fitzpatrick for a sack on Sunday. Ed Oliver had one, his first actual quarterback sack of his career. Jordan Phillips had his team-high 7th. Corey Leggett, he got his first as a Bill. Hell, even Star Lotterley got in the action. He had a sack. When these teams played in Orchard Park 3-4 weeks ago, Fitzpatrick didn't get sacked once. Miami got dropped 6 times on Sunday. 4 of them by, again, a suddenly dominant Bills defensive tackle group. And by the way, for all the talk about Trey White, who's been really good this year, all the talk about him being a Pro Bowler, I'll tell you what, Jordan Phillips might be the guy on the defense right now who's actually most deserving of a Pro Bowl spot. 7 sacks already this year. He's been really good. Speaking of really good, I'll tell you what, coming in at number 3, I'm going to give it up to the Bills' offensive line. Easy to give praise to the Bills' defense when they're looking good. A couple of the specific guys on offense, and we'll get to them obviously in a minute here, but the Bills' offensive line as a unit, they had their best game of the year, I feel anyway, Sunday in Miami. Josh Allen, 26 passing attempts, 0 sacks allowed, hardly even got pressured at all. Sometimes it felt like he had an eternity to find a receiver, which of course, if you watch enough Bills football, you know, sometimes it takes an eternity for one of these receivers to actually get open. Pass protection, excellent. The holes were also there in the running game too. Bills ran for 117 yards. They averaged 5.1 yards per carry. Offensive line pretty much had their way. An inferior Miami front 7, and to the Bills' credit, that offensive line, they really exploited it. Gave Josh Allen a lot of time. He was comfortable all day, and that's a big reason why they won. Another big reason why they won, my number 2 reason actually, is John Brown. And I'll tell you what, John Brown is becoming a special player. If you want to throw out he is or he isn't a true number 1 wide receiver, that label, go right ahead. I really don't care. But all I know is week after week, this guy's producing. He's been the most reliable weapon on offense by a lot. And if that constitutes a quote-unquote number 1 wide receiver, or if it doesn't, I really don't know what does. He had his best day as a Bill on Sunday, caught 9 passes, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Whenever Josh Allen needs a play to be made, it feels like John Brown is always the guy that he goes to, as he should be. Brown already has 817 yards receiving in 10 games. By comparison, Zay Jones led the Bills last year. He didn't even have 700 for the entire year. Brown's on pace right now for like 1,307 receiving yards, which would be 4th most all-time in Bills history over a single season. Better than all but one of Andre Reed's Hall of Fame career seasons with the Bills. Look, you can make a legitimate case to me right now. John Brown is the Bills' MVP so far after 10 games. And his play on Sunday, huge reason why the Bills swept Miami. Before we get to number one, please hit that thumbs up button if you like these clips, as well as hitting that subscribe button, little bell next to it for notifications when new content like this is released. And on that note, the number one reason the Bills went down to Miami, convincingly beat the Dolphins, is the quarterback. Josh Allen, in my eyes, easily had the best game of his young Bills career. He beat the Dolphins with his arm. He beat the Dolphins with his legs. He beat the Dolphins with his brain as well, believe it or not. Counted for 4 touchdowns, unlike many other performances he's had this year, which have been, frankly, up and down, if not downright mediocre. I mean, let's be honest here. But he looked really, really good in Miami, pretty much from start to finish. 21 of 33 passing, 256, 3 touchdowns. Also ran for 56 and another score. Now, I know the threshold for a lot of critics out there is that magical 300-yard passing mark. And no, he did not get that on Sunday. But guess what? He didn't need it. He didn't need it. You know what threshold I want when it comes for Josh Allen? I want him to be the best player on the field. And I feel like on Sunday, he may have been just that. I'm going to end this by reading a tweet that I sent out immediately following Sunday's game. I said, and I still feel this way, Josh Allen threw for 256 yards, ran for 57 more, didn't fumble, didn't take a sack. Oh, and he didn't throw an interception for a 5th straight game. If you're criticizing him tonight, you're a hater and also a stupid idiot. He was great today. Josh Allen was great today, and he's the number one reason why the Bills are 7-3 after 10 games. All right, that will do it for this clip. Got anything to add? Agree? Disagree about anything I said? Leave it in the comments below. We'll have a nice little discussion. Of course, don't forget to listen to the Moran-Alytics Podcast on Tuesday. I'll have full coverage of this game, plenty of other stuff. Subscription links for the podcast on all major platforms are down just below in the description. Thanks as always for listening, and I'll have more content soon.
I'll catch you on the flippity flip. Bye.